Hello, this is Dr. Do again. This video is outside of medicine, continue with the historical event or dynasty or important historical figures. Today I'm going to talk about one very important historical figure. His name is Sun, last name is Sun, first name is Bin, and was also called Sun Zi. He was the really military strategist. He wrote a book, The Law of the War, I think. Even West Point using his book as to teach about the war. I think he wrote about 72 of the useful strategies in the military. And who is this person actually? Regarding to him, has many legends. His life was not a easy one. I think he was in the Seven Nation period. He was living in the enemy's nation, and had enemy was very jealousy of his talent. Usually because he has the talent every time when they fought, because his strategy always worked. So his enemy seized the whole country, of course, seized him, and to torture him, and I think because he had very strong personality, and he has to live under some pretend to be insane, just like David pretend to be insane to knock the door at Philistine. So this Sun Bin also had the same experience. Actually, there's a movie about this Sun and also his enemy Pang. So I think I watched it when I was little. I couldn't catch the meaning, but this story is pretty much known by everybody. So basically, the law of the war. He listed 72 strategies. I think they are probably not just used in the war currently. In business, in daily life, a lot of people also adapt his strategies, modify. For example, the strategy used in the beauty, like the one, the emperor from the Yue nation sent a beauty, Xi Shi, to the Wu nation to confuse the mind of the emperor from the Wu, and he just lost interest to rule the country, just every day party with her, and eventually this emperor from Yue took over the country of Wu. So this is the kind of strategy has been used during that time, has been used probably if you watch a lot of movies, there's some still continuously to use, not only the war, the visible battlefield or the visible real war, but also the invisible battlefield also can be used. And there's some other strategies like knocking the east to attack the west, or pretending to dig, pretending to attack the wall. Actually, the real tunnel is digged to go through tunnel enter the city. So these are some of the strategies. It's quite obviously and still quite useful, but not nowadays, I think, because of the technology, because of the information is not easy to carry on those strategies, but still is useful in thought probably. That's why the West Point still uses this as textbook, I think. So basically, his law of the war is really emphasize the strategy that to confuse the enemy. For example, I said knocking the east to attack the west. So probably he's sent his majority of army in the east gate of the city, and then the sum of the army then just enter through the west door in some subtle way or hidden way to attack. Or he said to just build a castle, seems like going to fight each other, to make the enemy think we'll just wait until they built the castle ready, we're going to fight. But beneath that castle, they start to dig the tunnels to enter from the underground to the city. So basically, these are his strategy. Usually, is just referred to the confuse the other part, give them wrong information, give them the wrong sense, and in order to win the victory. So regarding to him and the enemy pawn, that pawn was very, according to I might remember that pawn was a very vicious politician, seizing the power and also quite brutal, treat him not very well. So he suffered greatly and pretend insane. But eventually his country went back, I think, because of he endured all the torture and he used his strategy. Eventually he won over his enemy, that pawn. So basically this is about that person. My introduction is very superficial. And the other important military strategist in the history is that Tri-nation period called Zhuge I mentioned. He was also considered as a very capable of military leader, military strategist. At the same time, he was also put in some dramatic color, like he knows how to use the magic to call the wind, or he knows how to debate, or even more than that Sun Zi. But his strategy, because he read Bin Sun's strategy, so he developed, and also he read other books like Taoism and Confucius, and also so he combined all the previous ancestors' brain and wisdom, so became his to win the nation from zero ground. So that's another important military military strategist in the history. To win the war, like I mentioned, the Central Nation part, took 800,000 of armies with a very well built ship going down along the Yangtze River to attack, but eventually they lost all because of his strategy to unite the weak two nations, and also to call for the wind, which used his magic, or he predict the wind will change direction at that day. So that's why they start to use the fire to attack. Otherwise, if they use the fire, then it will cause damage to their own camp. Because he predict or he call for the wind changing direction, so that's why give this historical event until today still talk about that, because he used strategy to win that battle, which means really first of all it's unmatchable of the force, the number of the army, the number of the ship, and also the number of the commanders and the material resources is just unmatchable for two part. But eventually, the weaker won the battle because of the strategy. That was a historical event. Still talking now. So that's about important historical figures. Talk about the Bin Sun and the law of the war, about his personal life and his book. My information was probably not accurate, especially because I read about his story when I was very young, very little. Probably I should refresh it, but just give you some idea. If you're interested, you can read his book. It's quite interesting, even though nowadays still can give you some idea to get some wisdom or sage, not summary, but get some wisdom to live a smart life. I'm going to stop here. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.